Have you got £450 burning a hole in your back pocket and you're looking to buy either the OnePlus 5T or the Honor V10 and you can't make up your mind? Stay tuned and I'm going to help you make that decision right now. Hi guys, this is Zilla. I'm back again with another video, and this time I'm going to do a comparison between the OnePlus 5T versus the Honor V10. Both of these are great mid-range phones. Both of them are extremely good value for money. So let's get into it right now. Price. Both of them £449 each. And what do you get for that £449? Well, let's get into it now. Let's talk about build first, feel in the hand and size. The OnePlus 5T is slightly thicker at 7.3 millimeters compared to the 7 millimeters of the Honor V10. It's also the exact same width as the V10, so you're looking at 75 mils in width. But the V10 is slightly taller. It's around 0.9 of a millimeter taller than the actual 5T is. So there's virtually nothing in it. Weight wise, the V10 is about 10 grams heavier than the OnePlus 5T, which is 162 grams. So size wise, I wouldn't worry too much. Feel in the hand, I think the V10 feels great, as does the OnePlus 5T. The V10 feels more slab-like. It's a lot flatter on the back, whereas the 5T has got more sort of rounded curves, and it feels very ergonomic when you're holding it. But there is a lot of comfort because of the thinness of the V10 for me personally. Let's move on and talk about what the specs are, because I know a lot of you guys out there, you're spec nerds, you love your numbers. Okay, with the 5T, you get Qualcomm's latest Snapdragon 835 with 6 GB of RAM built in and 64 GB of storage and a dual SIM as well. The Honor V10 on the other hand has got Kirin's latest chipset, HUAWEI's latest chipset, the Kirin 970, also with 6 GB of RAM built in, but double the storage at 128 GB, which is phenomenal. It's also a dual SIM, and it also has a bigger battery. The battery in the V10 is 3,750 milliamp hours compared to the battery in the 5T, which is 3,300 milliamp hours. Now let's quickly just touch on battery life. At the time of me doing this video, they're both running beta softwares. This is a review unit, so it isn't running the official software, the software that you'll get at time of launch. And the OnePlus 5T is running the Oreo beta. The reason I downloaded that onto the 5T is because out of the box, the Honor V10 comes with Android 8.0 and the 5T out the box comes with Android 7.1.1. So battery life. I'm getting about an hour more screen on time with the Honor V10 than the 5T, and I'd say a good 4 or 5 hours more standby time. But take that with a little pinch of salt, because as I said, they're both not complete software at this moment. Charging times are virtually identical. You have the dash charge for the OnePlus 5T, and you have HUAWEI Supercharge for the Honor V10. And they both charge from 0 to 100% in approximately an hour and 10 minutes, which is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You're not going to have issues with either of them when it comes to charging speed. Let's move on now and let's talk about screens. I'm going to put up now a little test I did between each phone and the colors, and I'm sure you'll see and agree with me when you see the results of what I tested. They're both if you want to get technical, the 5T has an AMOLED 18:9 1080p 6.01 inch screen. The View 10 has a 18:9 1080p screen too, but it's LCD and it's 5.99 inches. So the screens are virtually identical in size. I would say the 5T screen is slightly brighter, and because it's AMOLED, I find it's a lot more saturated, and the 5T really likes the reds and any colors in that color gamut. So the reds, the oranges, it really makes them punchy and sometimes oversaturated. I mean, you can adjust, but I'm just being honest with you guys. Whereas the View 10 on the other hand is like, they're like chalk and cheese. The screen on this thing, it favors the colder colors, so it favors white, blues, greens, and it's a much more colder looking display, more sort of analytical, I find. But it also looks sharper to my eyes. I don't know why that is, it just does. So that's the difference between the two screens. I personally, from my testing, what I've seen. Tell me down below which one you prefer from the test I did. Oh, and before anyone asks, PPI, virtually identical. On the Honor V10, it's 403 PPI. And on the 5T, it's 401. So that's not even a consideration in this instance. Let's move on to sound quality, speakers and headphones. I'm going to put up a little sound test now between the two bottom firing speakers of the View 10 and the 5T. Listen to that and I'll be right back. So guys, which one did you prefer, the 5T or the View 10? Personally, for me, I'd say the View 10's just a tiny bit louder, which I tested earlier with my decibel meter. But I'd say the bass is better from the OnePlus 5T speaker, but the treble's better from the View 10 speaker. So there you have it. There's not much difference if I'm honest, and in volume there's not a huge difference either. Headphones wise, again, it sort of relates from the speakers. I would say the headphones on the 5T are a little bit louder this time, and they have a little bit more bass to them, whereas I find the trebles and the highs clearer from the headphones being used on the View 10. So take that however you want to take it. It's all up to you what you prefer sound wise. For me personally, I would give it to the 5T in this instance. I prefer the headphone output, but for speaker I prefer the View 10. So now let's move on from that and let's talk about cameras. Try and make this as quick as possible. I'll throw up some photos here for you guys to have a look at, and I'll put in a selfie camera side-by-side comparison video. I will do a further video doing a more in-depth camera test between the 5T and the View 10, because in this video it would take too long. So check out these shots and this video. Let me know which one you think is better. Hi guys, welcome to my video. I am comparing the OnePlus 5T against the Honor V10. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this video. I'm recording this intro on both the OnePlus 5T and V10 selfie cameras. And first impressions, the Honor V10 has a brighter image from what I can see, and the OnePlus 5T is slightly darker and also more cropped in, strangely enough. So which one do you think is better? On the right hand side of the screen it's the Honor V10, and on the left side is the OnePlus 5T. So let me hit my intro, and from then on we'll test everything. We'll talk about battery, build, cameras, screens, speakers, headphones, etc. So that's coming up right now. Right guys, which one did you prefer? 5T or did you prefer the V10? Now my preference is this. If we're going to talk selfie cameras, you've got a 16 megapixel f2.0 on the 5T, and the selfie camera on the V10 is 13 megapixels f2.0. Both can shoot in 1080p, but my preference definitely goes with the V10's selfie camera. I find the 5T crops into the image too much, so you lose a lot of the background in the shot. I also find it darkens the image, whereas the V10 lightens the image. And for me in a selfie, I don't want to look dark and gloomy. I want to look as bright as possible. Plus, there's bokeh available on the selfie camera on the V10, where on the 5T you don't have that option. So easy for me. The selfie camera wins it on the V10. Now on the back, it's not as easy to decide. You've got dual cameras. Both have got a 16 megapixel and a 20 megapixel camera on the back, and LED flashes. What are the differences? Straight off, let's talk about video. If you're going to use the camera a lot for recording video, remember this. The OnePlus 5T has EIS, Electronic Image Stabilization. The Honor V10 doesn't have that, and it doesn't have optical image stabilization. Neither of them have OIS. So if you want to do video recording, they both can do 4K, 1080p, all the bells and whistles. I personally would go with the 5T because it's a lot more steady. And if you really want the V10, the other option is either you go robotic and you kind of move very slowly like that, or you get a gyro handle cradle. So you know, one of those things, you click it in and you move it, or you use a tripod. Failing that, if you really can't deal with any of those things, then for video I would go with the 5T. But for camera photography with the back lenses, I would give it to the V10. Now this is just personally my preference. They both can do bokeh, but there's more options available in the Honor V10, and the Honor V10 camera gets better with time because the camera has built-in artificial intelligence, which is something the 5T I don't believe has. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm not a genius or anything by any means, but it's not been touted with the 5T. The V10 is been extremely touted, the artificial intelligence. What it basically means is the cameras in the 5T, in the V10, sorry, I'm getting them mixed up. They learn with time, and what they do is the cameras can detect what subject you're shooting. So if you're shooting text, it will adjust the camera accordingly to photograph text. If it's a portrait, it will work, it knows, and it will adjust accordingly. Landscape, food, plant life, a moving image, it automatically adjusts, so it gives very good quality images. Now sometimes with the V10 they are a little bit overexposed, a little bit too bright possibly, but overall it's a really solid, good experience with that. I find with the 5T, in low light situations, sometimes when I'll need that second camera to come on, because I find it's a little bit too low light, it won't automatically switch, automatically switch to the secondary lens. And so the images can come out a little bit grainy in the shadows more than I would like. And a little bit blurry sometimes because of that, which is a shame. I'm pretty sure OnePlus will send out updates and improve it. They always do. So camera wise, and I think also with the 5T, they're a little bit darker, the photographs. So with the rear cameras for video, I'm going to give it to the 5T. For photographs, I'm giving it to the View 10. That's the way I see it. That's how I feel. Now let's talk about performance. I'm not going to talk about benchmarks except to say, if you need to know, the Kirin 970 always outbenches the Snapdragon 835, but we don't care about that. In real world usage, both phones fly. There's no lag, no stutter, no issues in performance at all. Games run flawlessly and they don't get really hot. Excellent. Really good. The performance on both these devices have me thinking sometimes, do I really need to spend £1,000 on a phone? You gotta really think about that one. It's something you need to think about. So performance, they're both beasts. You're not gonna have an issue at all with that. Features wise, they're packed with features, both of them. The fingerprint sensors have got features. It's a tie for features, I'll be honest. You got the swipes, the taps, so many different things. It's too many to go through in this video. If you want me to do a separate video, as I said, I will do a separate video of features between both these devices. There is Face Unlock already on the 5T. Face Unlock is coming on the Honor View 10. I haven't had the update yet, but it is coming any day soon. I did test out the Face Unlock feature at the launch event at the end of last year, and it works pretty well. I would say it's not quite as fast as the 5T, but it was a sort of half-finished update, if you like, at the launch event. It wasn't complete. So they'll both have Face Unlock within the next week or 2 weeks, I believe. So let me sum up now. This is a hard one, I think. I think personally the deciding factor will be the actual operating systems or skins on both of these as to which one you're going to pick. Because on one hand you got EMUI 8.0 and on the other you got Oxygen OS. This is a lot more stock Android-like with a garnish over it to give it extra features. But think about this. The EMUI nowadays is a lot better than it used to be. It's much more improved. It's much more fluid. The notifications work a lot better. In fact, I think notifications on the View 10 actually work better than the notifications on my 5T, believe it or not. It's such an improvement. It's really nice. It feels fluid, and they've got a really nice theme store as well on the View 10. So don't think to yourself it's like the EMUI of the olden days. It's nothing like that. It's much more fresh, much more modern, much nicer. So I think personally for me, I like both. I like a change. I swap in and out, and I don't have an issue with either operating system on either of these devices. I like both personally. Neither of them have got any sort of official water or dust resistance. They both have camera humps on the back, which are pretty big. These are the negatives. Neither of them have dual speakers either. Neither of them have 2K resolution screens either. In the box, they both come with their fast chargers and the wires. Neither of them come with headphones. You do get a plastic screen protector already applied on both phones. And you also get a TPU case with both phones. And when you consider that the price point is £449, that is that is an actual steal, I personally feel. So which one would I pick and why? Personally for me, and this is a very close call, I would go with the Honor View 10, and I'll tell you why. The Kirin 970 is a little bit more future-proof in terms of when it will be updated. I'll get a year's usage before the Kirin 980 comes out, whereas you're just around the corner from the Snapdragon 835. You're talking what, 2 months, and the Snapdragon 845 will be released, and then people will be looking at the 835 and going, well, it's an old processor and so on. I also prefer the photography more than the video, so I like the, as I said, I like the cameras more on this. And I prefer the fingerprint sensor on the front as well, and the slight battery improvement over the 5T. So go ahead, guys. You know, make your own decisions. Decide which one you like. Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, because I'll do a camera comparison between both of these beasts. But either way, both great devices, both extremely good value for money, and both get a thumbs up from me. This is Zilla saying take care, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again real soon. Peace.